welcome back to the Spider's Web. And in this video we're going to be carrying on with our zombie troll shaman, and as you can see he's dulled down quite a bit now, so we can get on with adding highlights and all those nice bits and pieces that we can get on with. So let's do that, shall we? First we're going to be going with Nurgling Green, and this one will go onto the palette like so. Little bit of water, now I'll add a little bit onto the new brush, and here we go. So what we're going to do with this, well, we're going to be going over the raised highlighted areas of the clothing, or the top that he's wearing. So it's trying to add a little bit of brightness to a fairly dark coloured lot of rags. If you can notice, I'm actually using the side of the brush. In this case we're going down here. I'll do the same again on this side. There we go. And we'll just go like that. Now here, it is looking a little bit brighter than I would have liked, but not to worry. I think we may do something about that to dull it down a little bit. There we go. Using some of this around any tears in the clothing as well as along the folds. There we go. Now a bit more water. We'll be coming up onto the shoulder here now and adding some of this colour up here. I've got a little bit too much on the brush. Wipe it off, get a decent point on the brush and continue picking where we're going to be putting the paint. Don't want it all over. And there we go. Now I can do the same on this side as well. There's a little bit more detail, a little bit of more roughness on this side, so being able to use the side of my brush just to, again, add the green where I want it without having to resort to using the point. And again we can pick round a tear there. And I really do think I should have used a slightly darker green for this, but never mind. I think what I should have done with this is used again the same paint that I did for the base coat. And mix a little bit of this in with it. But not to worry. And this will do nicely. It's not for display purposes. It's a playing piece for a board game. So the idea is to make it look grubby, but yet bright enough to be seen on camera for when we do occasionally have a game of this. That's that bit done, and now here there we go. And that is the top completed. Next we're going to be using some of the Baneblade Brown, which we used, in fact we have some still on our palettes. It's this one here. I'm going to add some of that to the brush and then just go a little over some of these areas. We don't need a great deal, which is why I'm not doing anything fancy and getting any lighter colour. It's just a case of tickling over some of these areas just to make it look that bit different. We'll see how it looks when it's actually dried. I may come back and lighten it a touch, but so something we'll have a look at a little later. There we go, and that's that done. And what I'm going to do here as well is go over those, and now I know those are bones, but I haven't painted them as such. But if I dry brush over with that and then over with some Screaming Skull, it will do the job adequately. So now what we need to do is, using Dawnstone, which you've seen before, now we'll just wash our brush and use this finer detail brush. Actually, well, this is the character brush we're using, not a fine detail brush. What we're going to be using here now, what we're doing with this, is just going straight over on the highlights on the upper arm here. Like so. And the idea for this is that we make this flesh look grey. There we go. And there's that bit. I've just clobbered the fingers there with the brush and got some of this grey in some of the creases, which is one thing I didn't want to do, but accidents happen. All I need to do is just go back over the creases there with the blue that I used on the Drakenhof Nightshade. Go back over with that, and it will go back all the spaces in between the fingers will go back to looking dark and shadowed rather than covered with some of the grey paint, which is not what we want. Okay, so we're now looking at highlighting all around these tears in the skin, and also looking at in between the bits of this strapping that he's wearing. Yeah. We don't necessarily need to make it exactly the same colour. As I said in the first video for this, we don't need to make it the same colour as the other three. We can do them all completely different colours, but I'm just trying to make it look easier. Well, not so much look easier, but to make the entire process a little bit easier and a little bit quicker for painting, so that this actually so they're all actually done and what's the word I'm looking for? Well, they're all done and playable as soon as possible, because I don't like using unpainted minis for gaming, and I've done it a few times with Dungeon Saga because it's a game I enjoy playing and I want to play more of. And that's the only reason this gets the special treatment of being played unpainted. Where are we at? And I think that's about it, really. There we go. Now what we need to do here, just on the tip of the toes, is just go over with the grey. Now that's with the grey. Now what we need to do is look at the highlight colour for the rest of the skin, which is the front parts. And for that we're going to be using this colour, which we used to actually paint that. And here we'll go in and just add a few bits and pieces of colour here and there, just to make it look as though it is a different colour. We're not going mad with this because it's not the colour we can really go mad with. There isn't enough space, there isn't enough of the area that we want to do this showing to be able to go mad with it. But that's that, I think. There we go. Now what's next is using some of the steel colour, the Runefang steel, and our trusty dry brush. We can put some on and just go pink. And just quick splatter over there. That's all we need for that. And then over that ring there. And that's that done. Now what we need to do is turn our attention once again to all the tears in the flesh. And for that we need a fine-ish detail brush. I'm going to put a little, I'm going to put a little bit of this white on the palette. And I'm going to go back into all these tears just to bring them out that little bit more, because we will be covering these with like pinkish and purple, well not pinkish, reddish and purplish washes, which won't show up if you've got green, grey or whatever colour wash over the top of it. So hence the reason we're doing this. And as I said, I should have waited until this time to do this in the first place. I shouldn't have done it beforehand, but I got part of the way through and then realised, so I carried on. Never mind. And I want to face it as well that some areas of this will be bone jutting out, so we'll be doing a wash with Agrax Earthshade for that. But not everywhere will be bone, some of it will be tissue and sinew and God knows what else. And we'll be adding blood effects as well to it, so it won't look incredibly stark once I've finished with it. So if I go over some of the outer areas, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And I'm just wondering if that is all. I don't think I can see any more. Oh, there's a bit on his hand there, which I've missed. Here we go. Any more? Any more? Any more, any more, any more, any more, any more, any more, any more. I can't see any. I'm going to leave it at that. If there is any more, then I can always go back and do some. Add more of the whites. But for now I don't think that is. Okay, so next, using the dry brush and some Screaming Skull mixed in with the colour that we used for the flesh. And just put some on, take it off, and then we'll just waft over the branch that he's holding as a staff. There we go. That's that bit done. Next, what we're looking at is getting, what shall we say, Balor brown. Yes, bit of Balor brown. That's what we want. And this is going to be used for the straps. And we're going to be using this. Very similar to a dry brush. And it's just going to be a case of a quick waft over. And that is it, really. Just like so. And because of the shape of this brush, we can actually get it into fairly narrow areas, like the straps on his chest, or well, and across his back there. You just saw him manage to go lengthways down it. And finally this bit of strapping on his leg. And that's it. That is all we need for that. There we are. We don't want them a very bright character though, do we? So we just want them rather dull and shabby and all the shades looking similar. Okay, so that's that bit done. Next, what we want to do, before I forget, Drakenhof Nightshade. I said I had a bit of an accident with the hand here. We'll go on and add a touch more of the Drakenhof Nightshade, just to the hand there, so it's not looking, whatchamacallit, it's not looking too grey. Now we need to find the other washes that we want to use. Well, we don't really want Chai Violet because there's no blood and guts hanging, well, there's no guts hanging out. What we want to find is the Carroburg Crimson, which I have just found. And here we are, so we have Carroburg Crimson. Yeah, so this is going to be in the majority of the parts. But I'm watching where I'm putting it because I don't want it in everywhere where I've done the white bits, because as I said, some of it is going to be bone, but where I know is going to be tissue, I can place it. And we are going to be going over, as I say, with blood effect as well, a bit of blood for the blood god. So if you get some red around the surrounding areas of one of these gaps, and don't worry about it too much. because when you get the blood effect on, it's going to look even more red. Tee hee hee. I was trying to work out whether he's got a bottom jaw or not, because it doesn't look as though he's got one. It also doesn't look as though there's not that many areas where there's going to be bone. And that's just looks like that one part. Okay, make that two parts, kneecap there, and that side of it. But the kneecap there doesn't need to be bone, obviously. I think that is it. Can't see any more white. On display. There we are. So that's that. And now all it is Agrax Earthshade. And we'll have that on the heel there, and we'll have it on the knee there. And a little bit more just on the bony bit here before we put some highlight on, which is going to be Screaming Skull. Yep. And once all the washed areas are dried up, then we can go ahead and get in there with some of the blood for the blood god and splatter some of that around him. But now all that remains is cover the base with black, dry brush it up with bluey greys and greys, and paint the bones on this in white, and then go over with Agrax Earthshade, and your man here is done. As well as a bit of a dry brush over the top of the bone areas with Screaming Skull as well. But as I say, that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it so far. Next time what we're going to be doing is probably make a start on the heroes, to be honest. Although saying that, we might get the Banshee done, because that's going to be quite easy to do. In fact, yeah, let's get the Banshee done next time. Okay, so that's, as I say, is it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, as always. Oh, in fact, no, there's something we can do before we go. Fingernails and toenails. Let's get these done before we go any further. And it's just a case of in with the Screaming Skull and just a quick going over. And you can wash them afterwards with Agrax Earthshade, but I won't do that until after the base has been finished. In fact, usually I don't bother doing the fingernails until after the base is done, but oh well, not to worry. You might as well get it done while you're watching. There we are. As I said, just a quick go over the top with the bone here with this colour. we go. I'll do a proper job of that bit on the back because it's a little shallower. But that is now it for this video. So until next time, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.